it feels like the sky is a little bit falling. I mean, a little bit, like a lot of it. Feels like it's falling. A lot of negative stuff going on with Oregon State football right now, man. And not a whole lot to be positive about. I think, Josh, we may have lost the fan base. Welcome back to Chainsaw Crew. If you're coming back, man, you're the best. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Give us 5 stars if you like the podcast. Follow us at Chainsaw Crew on X, TikTok, and Facebook. And make sure to download the podcast to show us that you listen to it. Man, Josh, if the Fairweather fans weren't going to show up for Fresno State at home on a Saturday afternoon, a really nice afternoon as well, rock bottom is probably these next 2 games. If the seats were empty for Fresno State, it's going to be collecting cobwebs for a pretty good Houston team. Josh, buddy, you were there on Saturday against Fresno State. Tell us what it was like. What was research? What was the vibe like compared to Washington a couple of years ago?
Do you hear that? Do you hear that silence right there?
Yeah.
It was dead. It sucked, dude. We last minute decided Friday night we're like, let's take the family down and let's enjoy a Beaver game in Corvallis on a wonderful Saturday afternoon. Now let's be mindful to this. My son Jacoby had his first flag football game. They got blown out 21 nothing. Okay, so we're already going down, feeling it. Okay, I'm flying down I-5 to get to this game because we left Canby at like 11 o'clock. Kickoff is like 12:30. 12:45 it gets changed to. So I'm feeling pretty good getting there on time. We ended up getting there with like 10 minutes to spare, but yeah, you roll in, you can just tell walking in like there's something wrong. And I think that is when we look at this football program right now, there's something wrong and it's identifying what's wrong with this football program because I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's leadership above the football program. I don't know if it's leadership at the level of the football program, but there's something wrong. Reeser was dead. It was empty. It was quiet until there was 47 seconds left in that game, Rob. It was awful. We talk about many games in the past. Like one of the games I went to last year, people leaving at halftime. It was done. People are not bought into this football team, and there's good reason for that. And it sucks. It really does suck. I was hoping we were going to see a little bit more inspired football team on Saturday. And I think we saw glimpses of this offset offense having an opportunity to be successful. But man, there is still a lot of questions surrounding this football team. And some of these questions are down in the pit of hell, Rob.
Yeah, man. It's. I mean, look, I'm trying to be Mr. Positive this week because I don't think being hitting the panic button, it's not going to help anybody. And a lot of people have already given their thoughts and their distress about this current football program and the athletic department as a whole currently as we stand. Because look, man, the transition for this athletic department from the original Pac-12 to what it is right now and what it's going to be, it's been really rocky, man, and they have not transitioned well into it. I've heard the game day atmosphere is not good. You just touched on that. They're trying to fix things with like showing more replays. It's like that's a bare minimum thing, in my opinion. And if you're not going to have a fun, exciting atmosphere, figure it out, man. Like Arizona State figured it out when they were playing Northern Arizona to just give away tickets. Let's just put people in the stadium. Let's try to get these seats full. Give away free tickets to people who are 20 and younger. I mean, just do something to get the stadium filled because that's how you start building a young fan base and try to get some more attention to yourself. And it just looks good on TV, man, because when you look at that south end zone, it's pathetic. That's where you were sitting. That's where my dad and my uncle have season tickets. And it's just it looks so pathetic over there. And man, I'm gonna go through a little thing later on, and I have a little speech to try to fire up our fan base a little bit. But we got to be better, man. And some people are saying like, oh, these are like Gary Anderson days. No, no, it's not. Do you not remember those seasons under Gary Anderson where the game was over within the kickoff, where they weren't competing, where they looked like an absolute joke in all 3 phases of the game, not just special teams? And again, we're going to harp on special teams again. Everyone talks about it. We don't really have to talk a whole lot about it. We all saw the absolute horrendous nightmare that was, okay? This game comes down to 3 viral moments, and none of them are good, okay? It's the punt, the illegal punt where Fresno State runs it back for a touchdown because, honestly, Will Haverland's best snap of the game, and A.J. Winter just doesn't catch it. Let's be a little bit of an athlete, A.J. I know you're a punter, but catch the dang ball. It's a little bit to your right, but catch the ball. God, you're a punter. You can do it, right? No, apparently not. That's not on Will Haviland at all. That was a good snap, just a little bit to the right for a third string long snapper and a linebacker on your roster. Pretty good snap in my opinion. Catch the ball. Okay, you drop it. Oh no, fall on it. You can't kick it off the ground. That's how do you not know that as a punter? That's just dumb. You're a dumb player for doing that. And AJ, I'm not trying to hit on you, brother. And I'm not trying to hit on the players, but like that's a dumb play. Okay, and then they score, whatever. They missed a blatant block in the back too, but whatever, they score. Okay, that is a viral moment in that game. Okay, then we have a holding penalty, I believe it was. And as we're walking back to the new line of scrimmage, we drop a loud F bomb over the referee's microphone. Can't do that, boys. Let's watch where we're going. Okay, it's embarrassing. And then Trent Bray at halftime. I'm not going to open the podcast with another cursing episode from Trent Bray because he does it too much. He does it way too much. He needs to stop. He addressed it after the game. He's got to stop cursing during the halftime interviews. And this time he did it on national TV on the CW. And that video has over 1 million plays on all the combined social media apps. Josh, is that a good thing? Is that a good look on your football program that the one thing that everyone took away from Oregon State this last Saturday was your special teams is an effing joke and your coach has no filter and doesn't know how to coach in these moments? What?
Listen,
Uh,
we're at a point right now where we are sitting 0-2 to start the season, right? We're gonna get dogged already. We are very we're gonna take accountability for our actions, Rob. We both thought this team was gonna start hot, okay? We were very wrong, and I was even wrong this week thinking that they were going to right the ship and turn it. I really did.
Same.
We talked about it last week is making that week one jump to week two, figuring it out, right? They figured it out in some phases of the game, but you're telling me that what we're taking away from this Fresno State game is our offensive lineman dropping an F-bomb, Coach Bray dropping an F-bomb. I don't know what you're expecting. And then he's not wrong when he's what he said about the
No,
special
he's dead
teams.
right. He's on the
No.
money,
Yeah, he nailed it right in the head. That's what we're all thinking.
but you
But
can't
when
say that.
you when when we're sitting here and we're looking at this and we look back at this season, the first couple weeks have felt like a joke. And that's what everybody thinks. We're the laughing stock of college football right now. We talked about having eyes on this football team is important right now in this new era of college football. You're telling me we're having millions and millions of eyes on this Oregon State program in the worst way possible. It's the worst thing ever. And now you turn around and you're going to head down to Lubbock. You're going to get absolutely annihilated on national television. Okay. And then we talked about it again. You're going to come back. You're going to head down south. You're going to face a very good Oregon team right now, and you will get more murdered for your second straight week in a row. And I don't know, Rob. I don't know. And here's my frustration: is I don't want to dog any players. I will never question the heart of this team. I don't think this coaching staff has the capability of putting this team in a position to be successful to win any games right now. They sure as hell aren't going to do it the next 2 weeks. And they already know going down there that nobody trusts this football team to do anything. And I know for a fact, not a single soul in this world trusts this coaching staff to even put any kind of game plan together to make this even a 1% chance of being any kind of game on Saturday or the following Saturday after that. It sucks. It's disgusting. We're sitting here in what felt like one of the biggest seasons of Oregon State football. You spend all this money on Malik Murphy, and I'm so tired of watching people dog Malik.
Dude,
It's
he's
not
playing so well.
not a Malik problem, and people saying that he's a stupid idiot for throwing that pick late in the game. What else is he supposed to do?
Yeah,
My
because you
God,
can't
what
kick
do
a
you
dang
want him?
field goal.
You can't snap a football to a placeholder to hold a football right now. So yeah, he's gonna force the issue. What do you expect of him right now? I the thing I hate is after that game, I saw a couple accounts on X and social media saying they wouldn't dog Malik if he just left. He's not gonna do that.
No.
He's not gonna do that. Malik's not that dude. A guy like that is not gonna run from the grind. And I said it on X a few days ago. If you're coming to Oregon State to play football. You're here to play football at Oregon State. And there's something that came out today, and we might hit that later and talk about it. About it's some bullcrap. I don't even want to talk about it right now, but you have lost your identity as a football program right now. You are doing some deep, deep soul searching on levels that I didn't think that we would snoop down to right now. You're going to test every man on this roster the next 2 weeks. Every man will be tested because it is going to be very ugly. And there is nothing anyone can say that's going to prove that, make me think any different of that. Now, what what gives? Is it Trent Bray making some coaching adjustments? Because I said on Saturday during that game, if I was him, I was walking into that locker room at halftime. I was relieving two or three coaches of their duties right there. See you later. It's an issue. It's been a problem. It's 2 weeks too late in the making to get rid of these guys. We have a defensive line that doesn't get any defensive push, that can't even
Oh, they're horrible.
put any freaking pressure on EJ Warner, a dude that has zero touchdown passes, that has thrown picks after pick after pick. And you're telling me we can't put any pressure on him. You're telling me that in some sick world that I watched EJ Warner go down and lead that Fresno State team after a stupid freaking kickoff down the field to let them kick a game-winning field goal. That is freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
And I know there's 15 listeners that are going to listen to this tonight and
Uh-huh.
tomorrow.
Hmm.
And I'm ticked off. I'm frustrated. I'm done. I'm going to be honest with you. And I told Whitney this yesterday. I really don't know if I'm going to watch the game Saturday or next week. I don't know if I don't know if I can sit there and do that. I'm tired of being dogged on X, on social media. Like, we are at the lowest level possible right now. And I understand Oregon. Their fan base sucks. But when you look at Oregon right now, when you look at them, Rob, what do you see? I see a freaking football team with an identity, with a proven leader
Yep.
right now that is going to go out and they're going to win freaking football games just about every freaking Saturday.
And also, they're using their video board as a weapon. They're putting Mike Gundy's,
And
week
we're
in
afraid to
week
show
press
freaking
conferences.
replays.
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me. How soft is that?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
soft are we for as a university right now?
Yeah.
There's so much there's so much crap piled through the roof right now that we can't even see through it. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, man. And six fall starts at home. That sucks. It's just a comically bad day on special teams. That sucks. But we did get kind of our wish on wide receiver too. Taz Reddix has a career day, and the worst part about this is all these positives because you outplayed Fresno State on the box score. You murdered them in total yards. That's because they got a punt return touchdown and they
Every
got
aspect of
yeah,
that
and
game.
they got field position all game just like Cal did because Caleb Ojeda can't kick the ball to the end zone, and that's an issue. Special teams all around, it's just so bad. Again, start playing some starters, Trent. We are no longer a program who can just start playing freshmen and sophomores in our special teams. You got to start playing your best players on the field at all times. It's just so evident that for why are you kicking it to Speedy Luke? He should have ran one back, but they had a bad hold on the far side of the field. Okay, and then you're squibbing it, you're kicking it high, you're giving them good field position the entire game. It's just you can't do this. It's a joke. We're playing special teams like a high school team would at the JV level, and it's not going to get better if they keep on doing the same things. And Coach Christian's not going to get better. He's proven he's not a good coach already. So I'm not sure why Trent Bray didn't fire him. But hey, this is it. We got to roll with the guys, And now you're onto this road gauntlet, like you mentioned. It's not going to get easier, folks. It's going to get harder. And man, you got to remember that Malik Murphy did lead this team down the field for a supposedly game-winning touchdown to David Wales. It was a beauty of a play. Malik's rolling out more. Gunderson had a great game plan. Honestly, he went empty a little bit too much, especially in the third down situations, but Gundy had a good sense of what to call. That was one of his better offensive calling games. Hankerson had a great day. The entire offensive unit, besides the false starts and a couple of interceptions, was a very solid day. They should have won the game. But you know what? They leave 9 points off the board because they can't kick a PAT. They can't convert a 2-point conversion. They give them 7 more points on the punt fiasco. You're just leaving points off the board. And special teams, we put the special in that for sure because it is absolutely horrible. But yeah, man, Jackson Robertson sounds like he's going to continue to be the long snapper. And Jackson, buddy, if you're listening, if you're Dylan Black's dad who hit me up, you're a great dude, man. Like Jackson, we need the best game of your life on Saturday. Okay, we got to move on, man. I know the yips are real. He had them. It's been a while since he snapped. He played 9 games last year. Okay, we know he can do it. He's going to have the game of his life on Saturday. He's going to turn the page because he has no choice. Because he has no choice, and that's really what it comes down to. It's amazing we lost that game. It's truly amazing that we lost that game. But we're on to the road gauntlet, man. Texas Tech and Oregon back to back. I will be in Lubbock on Saturday. I'll be driving down on Friday. If you are watching on YouTube, hopefully I can put this on YouTube this week. But I am.
Chainsaw Crew,
It says Chainsaw Crew
Chainsaw
on the
Crew.
back of my jersey. It's not an Exodus Ayers jersey. That would be an embarrassment right now. But that's a whole nother story. But man, we're gonna try to have some fun. Okay, if you're listening to this, obviously we're off to a horrible start, right? We're gonna try to get ready for Texas Tech. We know what the outcome of this game is likely going to be. Oregon State, any given Saturday, I understand that's the thing, but right now, morale is more important, and just finding an identity is more important, honestly, because no one expects you to win these next 2 games. No one really expects you to compete. As of right now, you're 23.5 point underdogs going into Lubbock in front of 60,000 tortilla throwing mad folks. Okay, it's gonna be a crazy game, and Texas Tech is looking ahead at Utah the week after. So maybe that's your one little hope. That's your one glimpse of hope. Same thing with Oregon. They're looking ahead at Penn State right after us. Okay, that is my only glimpse of hope for these next 2 games. But we have a special guest, Texas Tech play-by-play man for their football team. Brian Jensen is going to join us here in just a couple of minutes. Josh, man, just any couple of last thoughts from Fresno State and how we can move on from that.
Got to move on, right? You got to be
Yeah.
done with it. It's the last 2 weeks are done and over with. Okay. You have to go out Saturday. And if you're taking anything away from this, you have to come out with an identity. We can't come out soul searching again. I don't care if that is the identity in the run game. We established a minute identity through the air on Saturday with Malik, Eddie Freeoff, and David Wells. Okay. Trent, Dog, we already know that. Okay. If it's an identity in the run game, that offensive line needs to figure it the frick out. I'm tired of it.
Yeah. If
Defensively, that defensive line has to figure it out.
I don't know if they're going to, to
Are
be
they going
honest.
to? Absolutely not, because they're going to be outmanned at every level on Saturday. So, my Lord, Rob, if you're taking anything away from this on Saturday, please find an identity in something. I want to come away Saturday saying, hey, this is what Oregon State football is. This is what is going to be the rest of the year. Can they win games with that identity, with this identity? If we don't get that and we get what we've got in the last 2 weeks, it's done. It was done on Saturday. It's done. This season is beyond done. If you don't come out Saturday with something, okay, we will not be able to do this podcast anymore if we're talking about the same 4 things that we talk about every week because nobody wants to listen to that.
Nope. So the only way we can go about this is just moving ahead. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This is Brian Jensen, play-by-play man for the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Well, our Oregon State Beavers starting the season 0-2, and Rob and I just talked about this Oregon State team trying to find their identity. We do not have an identity problem with our next guest. We know who he is, and he is the Texas Tech play-by-play guy, Brian Jensen. Brian, welcome to the show. How are you doing today, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Doing well, man. Thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you so
Sure.
much.
We're
Absolutely.
doing good. We're struggling. 2 weeks into the season, and us as a fan base, we don't know what this program's identity is here in Corvallis. What's it like down in Lubbock? How are these fans feeling about this Texas Tech team right now?
Well, we know exactly what our identity is, so that's the one thing we don't have to worry about. Our identity is one of come at you, offensively, defensively, special teams, and don't let up until that final gun sounds. And I'm telling you, it sounds cliche, but this is a coaching staff that I've never experienced before in the 26 years I've been doing this, and it's real. I mean, these guys will put their life out on the line for their coaches, and the coaches will do the same for these players. And it's been remarkable to watch over the last few years the rise and the continuing development of this team.
So tell us a little bit about this Texas Tech offense then, because they've played, Pine Bluff, and then they had Kent State to open the season, less than stellar
Yeah.
programs to say the least. You see the
Well,
offensive numbers and you say, wow. And Morton has
yeah.
looked super comfortable and accurate. How does a defense who can't really rush the passer get after this kind of offense?
Huh. That's a great question. If you can't get to the quarterback, it's going to be a long day. Because quite frankly, the receiving core is better than I've seen since the Mike Leach era. The offensive line it looks to be as good as it was back then, which was filled with NFL players. Our running situation is much better than we thought it would be coming in, considering the fact that we lost Q Joyner before the season ever started, the transfer out of USC. So if you can't get to Baron Morton, he will pick you apart. He's very accurate. His arm strength is back. It's the first time that I've seen him since he was a freshman that he had the arm strength that we saw when he came into the program because he's had so many injuries, had shoulder surgery right after the regular season, didn't play in the bowl game, went ahead and had the surgery early so that he'd be able to get back on the field and get into all of the workouts and everything, knowing that they were going to go after some players in the portal that he was going to need to get a rapport with. And first 2 weeks, you're right, the competition has been less than stellar. But the first 2 weeks, the combinations that he's been able to connect with are guys that haven't been in this program until now. Terrence Carter, Reggie Virgil, guys that you're probably going to hear a lot of on Saturday if you can't get to Bear Morton.
Yeah, and talking about running backs, talking about the loss of Quentin Joyner, which is a bummer to hear for you guys. But with the first two games, with the big leads that you guys have gotten, how massive has it been to get Hill, Dickey, and Williams consistent game reps heading into the conference slate?
Oh, huge. Absolutely huge. I mean, it's it's very clear what their roles are going to be, and it was very clear what their roles were going to be once Q went down, because Joyner was going to be a guy that was going to be pretty much an all everything. He could run the scat back, he could run with power, and he could catch out of the backfield. So he could be in the game at any time. Jacoby Williams is a scat back type. He's very, very fast, very quick on his feet, quick on his decisions, sees the field well. And then Dickey's a guy that's a power runner. He's got some moves, but the guy's got great power. And then Adam Hill, nobody really knew what to expect when he stepped in. He's our first 100-yard rusher this season, which shocked everybody, but him. So, he's one of these guys that you give him the ball, and I don't want to compare him to. Don't take this as a comparison, okay? I'm just gonna say when you see him run, you're gonna think for just a second, Scatterbo, okay? And he's not that big, and he's got a lot of development. He's a freshman. He's got a lot of development to go, but the guy bounces off of players. He makes the hit first. He does a lot of that kind of stuff that you saw, Scatterbo do. So maybe we have that one of those down the road. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Brian, so far, not loving what I'm hearing from you after this
Well,
Texas Tech squad. I mean, Oregon State's been struggling up front on defense. I mean, I think they're one of 8 FBS programs to not record a sack yet this season. Under Coach Tawaki, the defensive line has really struggled at Oregon State. So, like you said, man, if they don't get to Morton, it's going to be a super long day. And typically, when people think about Texas Tech football, it is about offense. Like you said, come at you. You think about the Mike Leach days, even the
yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury days. We all know about Patrick Mahomes. Defensively, this team has had some ups and downs under Coach Joey McGuire, who is typically a defensive guy through his high school ranks. In
Right.
2024, Tech gave up about 4.5 yards a carry on defense. How do you see this defense matching up with Oregon State on Saturday?
Okay, so this is where the great leap has happened is on defense, and it's happened because of the transfer portal, quite frankly. So um, Tech Tech typically hasn't had the resources to go after some of these players as the NIL thing happened, like some of the programs in Texas have. And I think you know who I'm talking about. Well, now we do. And this last year, which was actually set in motion over a year and a half ago with Cody Campbell and Joey McGuire and our athletic director, Kirby Hocutt, which was we're going to go after the top players on defense. We're going to try to get top players everywhere, but specifically on defense. But they've got to have two things. Number one, they got to be what we consider the best at their position. And number two, they got to fit our culture, which is something that other programs haven't necessarily done. They've gone after the big name, but maybe they don't fit quite as well once they get there. These guys have gotten here, and we're talking about David Bailey, who was the last guy, pretty much the last guy they got in the portal out of Stanford, considered the number one rusher returning in the country. They got Lee Hunter, defensive tackle out of UCF, two-time All Big 12, one of the top defensive tackles in the country. They got Skylar Gill Howard, who last week returned an interception for a touchdown. They got Romello Height, another defensive end rusher that again was ranked very high in the systems. They got two cornerbacks that'll be starting against Oregon State that again highly rated out of the portal, but more importantly, they fit the culture. They fit in perfectly. They love these guys, and it's been amazing to watch them come together. Defensively, you're going to be shocked at what you see with Tech, I think, more than you will on offense, which is really interesting from a guy who for 26 years has been calling nothing but offense and very little defense.
Yeah, and speaking of Coach McGuire, tell us about his climb up the ranks of Texas high school football at Cedar Hill. He won state championships in 2006, 2013, and 2014. How important is it to have that connection at the Texas high school level in Lubbock?
It's huge. It's huge because he not only had success when he was in high school, he continues to have the relationships that he built through all of that. And because of that, he's funneled players. He's also given advice or maybe tips on some players, maybe not even the players that the coaches have themselves, but maybe that they've either played or maybe that they have another coach that they know. In other words, his network is statewide, very deep. And so I talked about the portal, which has been great, but the recruiting class was one of the top in the country as well. So we were Tech was top. I did not recruit anybody. Tech was top five in the nation in the transfer portal in the off season, and they were one of the top recruiting classes as well. So you put those two together, and it's been terrific to see because there are some freshmen that are out there at least the last 2 weeks with lesser opponents that have been playing, getting experience, and fitting into the system to get ready to go when they're needed, if they're needed, when the better opponents, hit the schedule.
It's good stuff, man. I mean, we've seen Texas Tech really just come alive in the portal this last year, and NIL is a huge factor in that. The oil money is real. To have a donor like Texas Tech has, it can absolutely make a difference because we just saw the feud between Oregon and Oklahoma State. They're literally just talking about money during the week before the game. And it's crazy what college football has come to. But like Dan Lanning said, you got to spend to win. And that's what Texas Tech is doing. And
Well,
nothing to do. It's tip your cap.
you gotta, where I live, right?
Where at?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Okay, what happened back in the day when you threw money at players? You got the death penalty, right?
Right.
SMU got the
SMU.
death penalty, remember? Because why? They didn't play by the rules. Well, guess what? These are the rules now.
Yeah.
So if you're not playing by the rules, meaning you're stubborn or you don't have the resources, I get it, then you're in a situation where you're not playing on a level playing field with the next guy. So what are you going to do to get there? I have no idea if you don't have the resources or if you have the mindset. I'll tell you what, if you have the mindset that you're not going to play along those rules, you're going to be gone in not very long a time. But if you have the resources and the mindset that we're going to go after this and we're going to win now, which is what Cody Campbell, he's our main donor. He's also our chairman of the Board of Regents now. I mean, the guy has also got Donald Trump's ear. He's on the committee that they've got studying college football and college sports in general. Anyway, that resource or those resources have made a tremendous difference, but so has the buy-in by Coach McGuire. And Tech literally has an NFL front office. That's the way they've set it up. It's an NFL front office. They've got a general manager that takes care of all the NIL stuff. goes after the players, presents them to Coach McGuire and the coaching staff, and then they determine whether or not it's somebody that's going to fit their system and their culture. If so, go get them, and that's what
God,
they do.
God, Josh, I wonder what that's like, you know?
Must be nice.
So you're in Dallas. I'm 3 hours down the road. I live here in Austin. I'm sure the listeners are sick of me saying this. I do live in Austin. I'll be driving
What?
out. Yeah, I live in Austin. I'll be driving out to Lubbock this weekend on Friday with a Red Raider friend, and we're picking up a friend who's a Beeve in Abilene. What should I expect out of these Texas Tech fans? I've heard some rowdy things for sure, but I've heard some really good things and just a passionate fan base.
Yeah. So let me give you a two-part answer.
Okay,
Okay. Lubbock is one of the friendliest towns you'll ever go to. I'm not kidding you
there's
there.
a butt
Okay.
coming. I feel like.
They're very, very friendly. Game day
Yeah,
is
there
a
it
little
is.
different. Okay. That wasn't a but, that was an and.
It's like LSU, honestly. It's the same thing.
Game day is a little different. You're lucky, and we're unfortunate that it's not a night game because the experience you would have had as a fan wearing what I'm guessing is what you're wearing now would be a little different at night when all of our students had a chance to, kind of get ready for the
Yeah, a
game,
little bit up.
Warm
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
warm up. And so it's still going to be great. Finally, the opponent is going to be at least, and again, I know Oregon State's had their difficulties in the first 2 weeks, but guess what? It's college football. Things can happen in a hurry. Obviously the quarterback is somebody that, we didn't see him play against us, but he played for Texas in a couple of games. Our guys are very familiar with that. They're well aware that he might come in because he was at the game that Tech won in Lubbock. He might come in with a little bit more spunk in his step. I don't know, but it's possible. They're ready for that, and they're expecting that. So are the fans. The fans will give him a lot of heat. I can tell you that right now. And then the tortillas are still flying, which is
Yes, sir.
great. We were worried that was going to get shut down because the Big 12, all the Big 12 athletic directors except for one, you can guess which one, voted voted against having anything thrown on a field, including tortillas, which was a little bit ridiculous as
It
far as we're
is.
concerned. But
It is.
it's still happening, so they'll experience that. It's a lot of fun.
All right, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. I know you just said it's been a tough couple of weeks for the Bees, but what are you expecting this week with the matchup against Oregon State?
I'm expecting a much higher level of competition. I really am.
Well, I hope
And
so.
and I think a lot of the reason is because, at least from Tech's perspective, this is another positive. I've said this from the very start when I saw the schedule. Coach McGuire did a great job of what he needed to do, which was with all these new players coming in, he needed to have a preseason. We don't have preseason in college football. So what did he do? I told you they have an NFL front office. They developed a preseason. So they got an FBS opponent, no, FCS opponent to start, 67-7. They got a lesser FBS opponent, which is a step up, 62-14. Now they bring in a Power Five, basically, team that's going to come in. And you would expect from the recruiting, the size of the players, the speed of the players is going to be different. So regardless of whether they're at the top of their conference or the middle of their conference or the bottom, they're still going to be a different looking player, a different looking opponent than Tech's had the first 2 weeks. Okay. How do they respond to that? And so Coach McGuire is expecting you do a step up. They're going to step up and get, up against that competition and take care of business. Well, don't know it till it happens, right? So this is what I said last week in the broadcast. You really never know how you're going to react until you get hit in the mouth. Tech hadn't been hit in the mouth yet. So they're going to have some moments where they get hit in the mouth on Saturday. I promise you. How do they react? So we're really interested to see how that happens because the next week for Tech is Big 12 opener against Utah, which is right now
Yeah, we know about
highest
them.
ranked team in the Big 12. So on the road, we'll see.
Well, I'm hoping we can pack some punches for you guys on Saturday because we're headed down to Eugene after that, and we're going to
Okay,
get
that's right.
punched right in the face or right after back-to-back
Yeah.
weeks. But if there's any light in this tunnel, we were talking about it earlier, is we want to see that identity formed on Saturday. And I think this is a good opportunity for the Beavs to go down and face a very good Texas Tech team right now. So, Brian, thank you so much for coming on. You guys, if you don't follow Brian already, you can follow him at Broadcast Booth and also check out Brian's podcast, also called Broadcast Booth. Brian, thank you for coming on
So
again, man, and have a great
you're the
call.
two that watched it last week.
Yeah, I did watch a little bit
Yes.
of it. Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay.
You're
Of course,
welcome. You're
Brian. We got to
welcome.
get ready for our podcast, man. We got
I
to record.
noticed I noticed a spike, so that ought to tell you something.
Yay.
Hey, we got to help out the listeners and the hosts. We got to help out everybody.
All
Okay.
right, thank you.
Thanks again, Brian. Have a great
All
call
right,
on Saturday, man.
all right, appreciate it. Y'all too. Have a good time.
Well, that was Texas Tech play-by-play man Brian Jensen. He's been around the program again. Another dude who's just been around his football program for a long, long time, Josh. And I know that he knows that Texas Tech football team is good this year. It's not like your grandpa's Texas Tech where they fall short halfway through the year, man. This is a different squad. And I think he wanted to say it, but he didn't. He wanted to be nice to us, like you just said, Josh. What did you just tell me, Josh?
Listen, that whole time that listening and talking to Brian, what a guy. First of all,
Super cool.
listen,
Yeah.
it's not good when we already know this, but when he's talking about if you want to eat with the big dogs, you got to go out and act like a big dog. And if you don't have the resources to do so, you will get stepped on and you may not have a football program here in a few years. And that's just the reality of it. But the way he was talking, and I know there's not going to be any guys that will come on and say it blatantly to our face, but right now in the current state that this football program is, my dude, in many different ways, and Rob's floating out of the screen right now, and it's quite trippy, but he basically told us in words that he did not say is good luck. You're going to get absolutely trashed on Saturday, and there's absolutely nothing that this football team is going to do to stop what Texas Tech is going to throw at them.
I didn't love a single word he said, dude. And again, he's talking about how they set themselves up as an NFL team. And yeah,
Wow, with
they're
a GM, first of all, wow, okay, and a
great
front
GM.
office that wants to go out and take care of this football program, that's willing to spend money. Granted, they have donors, they have oil money. This is the problem that we're talking about, Robin. I'm sorry for cutting you off. That wasn't nice of me.
No, go for it.
But that's the problem is every single person that we've talked to, play-by-play guy wise this year, maybe not Paul last week, but Justin McCow. Now we got our friend Brian here for the Red Raiders. What are they doing right now that's so different than Oregon State?
Professional organization.
Wow. So, like Brian said, there's no preseason in college football, but what did this front office go out and do? They gave themselves a preseason slate heading into conference play. Like he said, two lesser opponents each week. It's a step up. Now you have Oregon State, which many of us thought a month and a half ago was going to be Oregon State's first true test on the road and probably their first loss. And Texas Tech was going to be their first quote punch in the mouth. They ain't going to get that this Saturday. They're going to be beating us to an absolute living pulp on Saturday. But if you guys want to do something about this, we need the reality of this is, and I'll be done ranting and we can move on. I'm frustrated. I'm sick and tired of it being little old Oregon State. If we want this football program to be successful in the future, it starts with us. It starts with a big name donor coming in and solving this problem for us. We cannot do what we are doing for the years to come and think that this is going to work out. Okay. It's not. The plan that is in place at Oregon State is a plan to not be successful. I will bleed orange and black till I die.
Yep.
Nothing that happens at this university is going to change that. I will die. I will ride this boat to the bottom of the ocean when I see the Titanic. I refuse. I refuse to sit here and be quiet anymore because I am sick and tired of this administration, the leadership sitting behind some firewall that thinks that what they are doing is good because it is not. It is frustrating. It is disgusting. I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people know this. I'm sure they do, but there was a little issue with people wanting to wear body paint into the stadium,
Oh
and the
God, dude, what a
university came out and nixed it, okay? For whatever God-foreseen reason, because we don't want our fans to have fun. Now, my only problem with this is they came out, I think it was Friday night, and said go for it, okay? I
complaining
may
works.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't know if they showed anything on TV. I don't think I saw a single person in body paint. I'm gonna be honest with you, Rob, and
It's nobody there.
I don't know if my glasses were just terrible because I can't see anyways, but not a single person. But the moral of this story is no matter what you say on social media or whatever it is people can ignore it. People may never see anything of it. But if you complain enough, if you say it loud enough, somebody's going to hear that. And someone's either going to take it to heart or they're going to be pissed off that you're saying it. I don't know if this university has the balls to do what it needs to do to right this ship right now. I'm done.
You make a lot of good points, buddy, and I think the from top to bottom, I think we do have some systemic issues, honestly, with Scott Barnes. I don't know if he has enough of that FU to him to really get this ship righted. I think he should be pressing Coach Bray to make some coaching changes because look, your bye week is too far into the season because that's typically when you would do it, right? When you fire a coach, it's like, all right, we're gonna do it in the bye week, so we have some time to revamp. With Oregon State this season, man, we don't have a conference. It doesn't really matter. Like we're 0-2, staring at 0-4. Be aggressive. Go ahead and do it. I was a little shocked today to find out that Trent Bray did not relieve Coach Christian of his duties because the way he was speaking on Saturday, it felt like he was going to do it. It just felt like he was so fed up with the whole thing. But then today at his press conference, he's like, it's not really Coach Christian's fault that we can't snap the ball. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It is his fault. And and Jackson, like I said, going to have the game of his life on Saturday. He's going to figure it out. I know he will. But you got to have a better plan than just like, hey, Will Haviland, can you go snap for us? And then he also had another guy practicing on the sideline after Will kind of struggled, and it's just like we got to have a better plan than that. It was just so high school, but and same thing with Coach Tawaki. It's a pathetic defensive line yet again. So I hate our chances this weekend. I hate the chances even more the next weekend. You're gonna have to start. You're gonna have to hit the reset button after these two games. You're gonna have to go into these two games with house money and just tell the boys we gotta compete. You can't quit. You just gotta keep going. Okay, it's gonna get tough. It's gonna get hard. These guys might run around you a little bit. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep playing hard for us and for your teammates, for your fan base, because we cannot lose a game like what Oklahoma State just did. It just cannot happen right now because this fan base is already off of its wagon and it's going to get worse if they come out and just get completely murdered. So let's move on to the keys to the game here. Josh only has one. I have three. My three keys are we got to limit Texas Tech possessions. You got to run the clock. That opening drive in the third quarter against Fresno State, a little long for my liking when you're losing the game, but hey, thing of beauty, they scored a touchdown even with a lot of turmoil with some false starts, holdings, the weird targeting call, which is absolutely targeting. I'm not sure why Fresno State fans were questioning that. But grid drive, got to have a lot of those drives against Texas Tech. You got to stay on the field, keep your defense on the sideline, and just try to work clock, keep Texas Tech off the field. Snap the ball well, which is an unbelievable key to a game. You got to snap the ball well. If you have issues kicking a PAT, look, Oregon State scored 6 touchdowns this year. Pretty good, right? Not so bad for 2 games. They haven't converted a PAT or a 2 point conversion yet. So 6 touchdowns, 36 points. You're leaving a lot of points off the board. It can't happen. It's got to stop. And my third key is put Nico Taylor on pass rush. He is your most talented edge lineman, whatever you want to call him, outside linebacker you have on the roster. Let him get after a quarterback. Don't drop him in coverage. Let's let him try to get some sacks, dude. You got to try something else if you're Coach Milwaukee. And if you're Coach Bray, it doesn't work. Again, move on. Josh, your keys to the game.
I have one key, but I will add to this. I have a little thing to
Oh,
add
oh,
to it.
thank God.
Yes, God. Sorry. I didn't want to come in here all bland, but uh don't lose by 60. Okay? We talk we talk about it, and I'll talk about it till I'm blue in the face. This game's on Fox, right? Fox. I don't even know what it's on.
Yes.
Fox. Okay. There's going to be people watching this, especially for Texas Tech. I do not want a Oregon Oklahoma State situation where you are getting blown out 69-3. Okay. You're not facing EJ Warner this week. It's a few steps upgrade from EJ. Okay.
But hey, you're not facing Sungapolatelli. I think he's the best quarterback you face all season.
Okay. I'm here. I'm here for that. I can agree with
Try
that.
to shed some positive light on this thing.
I need to see I need to see an offense that can wear a defense down. Okay, and like you said, that first drive where they took forever to score in the third quarter, that's what Oregon State's all about, man. They're all about time of possession and
That
wearing
is our
teams down.
identity.
That's it. That's what I'm getting at. That's your identity right there. We're talking in a game this week where every single possession matters. And the longer you have the ball, the longer your defense gets to have a break. And I don't know. Brian talked about any given Saturday. I don't think it's this Saturday for the Beavs. I don't think it's next Saturday either. I'm really trying to figure out Friday coming back from Eugene against Houston.
Yeah, that's
But
the season right there. So yeah, go ahead.
it's college football. Any given Saturday, stupid things happen. Okay. It's a little bit of a homecoming from Leak going back to Texas. I don't know if that's enough juice, enough firepower, enough dog energy, whatever you want to call it, for him to go out and do it. Right now, what you're seeing outside last week, it's Malik versus the world. Malik and Trent Walker versus the world, excuse me.
And Taz
And Taz now.
and
And
Hank.
Eddie Freoff, I think, is going to be a very, very talented wide receiver for this Beast program.
Yeah.
He is big. He is physical. I'm here for it. Hank getting hit in the backfield as he's receiving the ball from Malik cannot happen. That cannot happen. It will happen a lot this week if this offensive line cannot figure it out, even the smallest percentage.
Dude, if Gundy goes empty against this Texas Tech
We
defensive
can't
line,
do that.
dude, it's over. He
We
cannot do
can't.
empty every third down.
Malik will get murdered every time.
Yes.
He will. He will. We can't have that. So I guess for the first time in, I don't know, 2 weeks, Gunderson's not on this list. I'm not mad at him after
You had a
last
good
week.
day.
I'm not mad at him.
Yeah.
But if I'm taking anything away from this week, please come out, show some kind of fight, and do not lose by 60 points. Rob,
That's fair.
I'm sure we have lots of worries right now, and
Yeah,
it's acceptable. But what are your worries against this Texas Tech team this week?
yeah, it was hard to limit to three, honestly. There's a lot. I think the entire game is a worry. It's just a road game in general. But Texas Tech athleticism on both sides of the line of scrimmage, what we just talked about, you can probably can't go empty against Tech. You're gonna have to have Hank back there to be a pickup, to blitz pickup, and give Malik just a little bit extra time back there. And honestly, losing Hank out of the passing game isn't the worst thing in the world. He is kind of Mr. Doink hands most of the time anyway. So I'd rather him pick up a linebacker or a defensive end and give Malik a second more to throw the ball. Because you look at Texas Tech's offensive line, their average height and weight is 6'6", 309 pounds. Their left
Puke.
tackle and left guard are massive. I think they're
Puke.
6'8" and 6'6". They're huge human beings. And then
Buffy
Oregon
eaten
State's
alive.
defensive line is 6'2", 284 average, at least the guys who have played edge and D-line and D tackle. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a weight advantage for Texas Tech's offensive line, but it's a massive just height and arm length advantage. It's going to be another just brutal day for the Oregon State defensive line. If they get a sack, I'm gonna go nuts in the stands, honestly. I might cause a fight. Oregon State offensive line is 6'4", 312 average. And Texas Tech defensive line, 6'3", 287. So they're just a little bit bigger than Oregon State's defensive line, but they're a lot more explosive, a lot more athletic. They had a thick six last week. Their defensive lineman got a pick six for 55 yards against, Kent State, but he still did it. I would kill for Oregon State to have something like that happen. Another worry is the coaches don't make any adjustments. I think last week, tackling was a little bit of an issue. Fresno State has an incredibly talented backfield, but other than that, their offense is not much. And Fresno State did what they wanted all game on the ground, and Oregon State had very little answers for them besides a few drives. So Texas Tech's going to come at you with a lot of different looks. They're going to have a lot of different guys they can get the ball to. You got to make adjustments. And then the third one is losing the morale of the team early on. If Texas Tech gets up like a 21-0 early, I really worry about this team going forward, man. And I know Trent always likes to say it. Coach Bray loves to say, like, yeah, we got guys who, they're committed to this place. They love the grind. They're not quitting on us. But 0-3 is different. Staring at 0-3 and being down early in a tough environment, it's different for college kids, man. So that's what I truly worry about. Josh, give me your worries.
I just have one, and I don't have a worry in the world. You want to know why? Because I don't have many expectations for this week.
And that's honestly,
I
that's a good
don't.
thing.
I don't. And I think that's just how I'm going to approach it. Until this team wins a football game, I just don't have any expectations. And it feels so weird. It feels like I'm giving up on this team, but I'm not. I'm really not. I just don't. I know what I'm expecting to happen on Saturday. I'm probably going to witness it happen on Saturday. But why sit here and ramble about my worries when all my worries, all my concerns, they're just going to get shown on national television this week? I don't. I'm trying to find a place in my soul right now where I can forgive the defense for having uh, the defensive line for getting zero pressure on any quarterback. It's just so mind blowing to me that it's going to continue because there's just no answer to it, and there's no change. They're going to come out and roll out the same game plans. We all know what's happening Saturday. We all feel the same way, Rob. Nobody is picking this Beaver team to win on Saturday, and no one should. I don't expect this team to be favored to win a football game, maybe for another handful of weeks. But the reality of it is if you come out Saturday and you come out flat with zero energy, like you did, at least to me, what it felt like against Fresno State, you will give up 130 points to this Texas Tech team. I'm not kidding. You can laugh. I'm not joking, Rob. That's how bad it is. That's just how it is. I don't trust the special teams to do anything effective. I maybe trust Coach Gunderson a little bit more. If I'm Gundy, I'm going into this week and I am pulling out the playbook with quick slot passes, quick slant passes. I'm getting that ball out of Malik's hands as fast as I can every single play. And I swear, if he puts Malik back there by himself, I will never forgive him. I won't. Okay? I'm done. I love this team so much, man. I have said that so much. I have made that so clear. I am, for the first time in my life, fully expecting this team the next 2 weeks to go out and get manhandled. And I hope they prove me wrong in the most minute ways.
And that'll bring us to our Hannah Score predictions, Hannah Grace Score predictions, which is brought to you by Hannah Grace Family, a nonprofit located in the Pacific Northwest in Oregon City, Oregon. Hannah Grace is a local organization that serves foster children and children facing instability through a free music program, visitations, support, and more. Be on the lookout for more info about their upcoming annual fall fundraising banquet on October 11th at hannahgrace.org. That is HANNAHGRACE.org. Josh, buddy, you said it all. After this score prediction, I'm going to try to go into something to try to get everybody fired up a little bit. But I got Red Raiders 48, Beavs 23. I see us battling in this game, hopefully early on, and maybe you have a sliver of a hope of a chance to compete in the second half. But I think Texas Tech is just too talented, too good, too fast for us, especially on their offensive side of the ball, and it's going to be a tough second half, I think. Go ahead. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I got Texas Tech winning 54-17. I I've been yapping a lot this podcast. I'm sorry if people don't like hearing me talk because I've been going at it. So
No,
if
that's
you like
good.
to hear
Normally it's
Rob's
me,
voice,
dude. Normally it's me,
if
so
you like
that's
to hear
good.
Rob, I'm sorry. This is not the pod episode for you. But there's just not a scenario in my mind right now that thinks this team can come out and be competitive on Saturday. I just can't. Unless something changes that I don't know about, that I'm not going to hear about between now and then, it's just not going to happen. I feel defeated saying that. And I know that there's a lot of people on X, on social media, that they don't always agree with me, but I think you and I do both do a good job of when it sucks, we're not afraid to say it sucks, and we're not afraid to tell people why it sucks. There's a lot of people that will sugarcoat things and try to make things seem like it's all beautiful. It's not. It's very ugly right now. And there's a lot of people bookmarking, I'm assuming Beaver fans bookmarking my stuff right now. And I would love in many weeks from now to be wrong about everything I've said the last 3 weeks and this team find a way to turn it around. I think you said it in one of the group chats, Rob. This might be the best 4-8 team that we've ever seen in our life. And that's just the reality of it. Do I can I see them winning 4 games right now? No. Would I be so happy if they won 4 games right now? Yes. Like I just you could I'm people are probably laughing at me saying that, but I don't I don't know the identity of this football program. They've given me zero reason to believe in them right now. And there's zero reason for me to think they can win a football game until I can see them put 4 quarters together and win a football game. This podcast is going to be very dark for me, and I apologize to this fan base for that. Now, we're going to kick it over to Rob, who's going to shed some light on this situation, hopefully. And I know there's every single football player is going to listen to this podcast this week and take this to freaking heart. And they're going to run through Lubbock next week or this week, and they are going to murder Texas Tech because of what Rob's going to say.
It's not really more so for the players. Okay.
For the fans,
Yeah, it's for our fans. Okay.
you're going to have a bunch of fans running through the wall.
I hope so. Whoever's showing up in Lubbock this weekend, man, come say what's up to me. I'll be wearing this orange 23 jersey with the Chainsaw Crew on the back of it. Come say what's up. I know my guy Northwest Beeve is going to be there. My buddy Travis Hill is going to be there. I need to hit up Coach Canfield to see if he's making the trip. But yeah, man, I think there's going to be a decent amount of Beaver fans who make this trip because we don't get to go to Lubbock very often, right? This is a big opportunity for this Oregon State football program. Whether you like it or you don't, this is a big opportunity for us, right? This is an opportunity to just turn the page. Okay. No one expects you to win this game, not even our fans. And even if you were 2-0, it's the same thing. Okay. You're going into this with house money, right? And a lot of people, I think almost every Beaver fan right now, maybe except for me, has been asking, is Trent Bray the guy? And actually, I have asked that. Is Trent Bray the guy going forward? The answer right now is I don't know because look, y'all, it is not good right now. We have serious issues from top to bottom of this football program. Trent Bray, as a head coach, is 5-9. We're looking at 5-11 as a head coach. He's 4-5 at home, 1-4, and likely to be 1-6 on the road. And he's 3-9 in his last 12 games. All of that points to bad, bad, bad. And some of it has been coaching. Absolutely. These last 2 weeks have been coaching. His initial instinct and his answer of not wanting to be a head coach back in 2022 was correct. I unfortunately believe it was correct. He may not be fit for this role. But honestly, that's okay, because who is fit for this role? He took the job when it seemed only subpar coaches were lined up for it besides him. And he's not a subpar coach. We've seen him do incredible things with this Oregon State defense. Remember when he took it over for Tim Tibesar? Remember how horrible they were under him? Do we forget that Trent Bray is that kind of coach? He turned it around in literally 2 weeks. It was incredible. He stepped up when Oregon State needed him, and he felt he needed to help his alma mater at their lowest. And I will always commend him for that, especially comparing the last alum to coach here, what he did to us. I will always commend Trent Bray for what he is doing. There is a lot of negative surrounding him, and it's fair. Okay, these last 2 weeks have been horrible. He is more than likely going to lose these next 2 games. Okay, more than likely. If they cover the spread in both or just one of these games, that is a win. We will take that. It's 23.5 right now. Oregon probably is going to be 31.5, maybe more. We need to be as positive as we can going as positive as we can going forward. The initial preseason expectations are gone. They're out the door. The rest of the season is about sticking together as a fan base. We cannot turn on each other. We cannot turn on this football team. Because look, man, there's other programs out there who really actually have it worse, and they're in power situations, okay? Before last week, man, look at Mississippi State, an SEC program who has had little to no success. They have been 7-17 their last 2 seasons. Number 12, Arizona State, comes into their house, and they pack it out. 50,000 people ringing cowbells. What do Mississippi State fans have to look forward to in football typically? What are their expectations year to year? Nothing. to maybe win a conference game. But you know what they did in their biggest non-conference home game in a long time? They showed up and they showed out, and it made a difference. It really made a difference. This program needs its fans to stay around. Show up when the light is dim. We need to be the match in the flame right now because it is not going to get easier, like I just mentioned. We cannot run from this grind. We need to embrace it. Beavers, Beavers, fighters through and through. If you're in Lubbock, come say what's up. Josh, any last words?
I'm ready to run through this computer screen for you.
Let's effing go, bro. I'm so tired of the negative just media attention that we've getting. Let's go out and try to prove something wrong, okay? Let's prove these idiots in the media who are just laughing at us and laughing at Trent Bray for saying F-bombs. Shut them up. What are we going to do about it? Can we just sit here and cry as a fan base? Oh, everything's too hard. Commentary alignment sucks. Yeah, it does, okay? This is the cards you've been dealt. Take it and run. Embrace it. Embrace the suck. Embrace the tough. It's the only way you're going to get better. You can't just sit here and just make excuses. Go Beebs.
Your money matters. And it was funny. My aunt was at, because she's a season ticket holder. She has been a season ticket holder for, I can't even tell you how many years, Rob. And I texted her at halftime of that game. And I was like, are you coming to any more games? Partially because if you're not, I'll use your tickets and go and be miserable for you. But she said, yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, I'm a Beaver, man. I'm going to go to games.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
What are we doing? Why am I as a fan questioning, are you still going to come to this? You guys, the donors that donate right now, the season ticket holders, I know we're all frustrated. I get it. I understand. I know we all understand. The worst thing we can do right now is give up on this football team. It is. That's the worst thing we can do right now. I would love nothing more, and I promise you, if because I'm sure the tickets are going to be $5 to $2 come Houston Friday night after Eugene. If Oregon State, they're not going to. If they rolled out free tickets like you said, I would go in a heartbeat. As long as it's for 31 years and younger, I'll go. Okay, fill that place. Do you know what that does for this football team if they come out to packed Reser Stadium? You're telling me that a handful of years ago when UW came to Reser, and that might have been one of the biggest games Oregon State had played in to date. That place was unreal. I sat in the rain for 4.5 hours straight with thousands of fans. That place was packed out. When the times are good, it's good. When it's ugly, it's ugly. But we cannot fold right now for this football team. They need us more than ever. If we fold, they will fold also, and this will get uglier. We think it's bad right now. We are tiptoeing on the gates of hell. That's how bad it is. I do not want to go there. I know Rob and I, my aunt Galen, and there was a few other people out there that will sit through this Saturday, sit through next Saturday, and sit through every freaking Saturday that is going to be miserable, and we will watch this till our eyes burn freaking fire. I love the Bees, man. I know Rob. I know there's a ton of people that love this program. Do not give up on them. Go Bees.
Go Beavs, man. And shout out to my dad who had surgery on his neck and his hand, and he was not supposed to be walking. He was supposed to be in bed. You know what he did on Saturday? He got up out of
He's a Beaver,
Salem,
man. Yeah, bro.
and he walked 2 miles to get to the stadium, and he sat there in the stadiums, and he watched this team just have an embarrassing outing. And then he walked 2 miles back to his car. And he went today for his checkup, and his doctor was like, "You look so spry. This is shocking." And he mentioned, "Yeah, I walked like 3.5 miles in Corvallis to go to the Beaver game." And they're like, "Why would you do that?" That is a Beaver fan. Shout out to my dad. I love you, Dad. That is awesome to hear. That is what this fan base mother needs, dude. I don't want all these crybaby. I'm not going to a game anymore because the team sucks. Mississippi State went to the game, and their team always sucks. Okay, look at these other fan bases who don't show up to their games. Why? Because the team not very good, and that's why they suck. You need to have fans in the stands. And our students, pathetic, horrible. I know school's
What is
not in
going
session,
on?
but you're allowed to go to the games. It's pathetic. Get your ass to the stadium. What are we doing? It looks horrible on TV. And then it looks even worse when your punter is kicking the ball off the ground illegally. And it just adds to the comically bad state that we're in right now. But you got to turn the page. Show up for this team, man. Embrace the suck. Embrace it. Like I said, man, Beavers, fighters through and through. You got to stay up. You got to stay with them, man. Because we all know basketball ain't doing it. We all know baseball has a tough transition year with a lot of talent coming in and out. It's football's got to figure this thing out, and it's going to be 0-4. We understand that. Show up on Friday night for Houston. Because look, the last time I saw Josh, he just mentioned it, was the Washington game when Michael Penix came in and had a great game. That was an electric atmosphere, dude. That was the last time Beaver football was relevant. And that was the last time Research Stadium was really, truly rocking at night. And it was just an electric atmosphere. I've been to Oklahoma State. I've been to USC. I've been to Autzen. I've been to Stanford and Cal. I've been to Texas. I've been to a lot of college football stadiums in my life. Arizona State. That was Oregon State and Washington. And then Oklahoma State and Texas a few years ago when Quinn Ewers was playing. Two of the most electric places to be. It's got to get back to that. And it's not going to by you guys sitting at home. Because look, I live here in Texas. I was texting my dad. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go if they lose against Fresno State. And I was like, no, screw that. I'm going for the Wazoo game. It's a tradition for me. I'm flying out for the Wazoo game. I don't care if we're owing whatever for that game. I'm going because this team needs us, and I gotta do what I preach. So that's it. It's going to be tough on Saturday, y'all. Don't get discouraged. Texas Tech is a really good team, and it's going to be hard again in the Civil War because the Duck fan base is just going to let us have it. And then, oh, little brother, block them all. Don't talk to them anymore because all they want to do is comment about Oregon State. Apparently, they're obsessed with us. It's all they want to do. Well, we trying to tell you guys, shut up. Don't talk to them. Josh, any last words?
Go Beavs.
Go Beavs. Show up on Saturdays, baby, or Fridays, whatever the day is. Show